It's not even live. Now it's live. Big up, family. Sorry about. There should have been a. You know what? This is bad. Let me actually do the. I'm just gonna do. Just gonna do a bit of a timer thing because there it is. I'll drag to the end. Turn it down. Telephone went live. Sorry, I didn't get time to do the intro thing. How bad is that? How bad is that? Okay. I mean, is it live? It is live. Yeah, we're now live. You can find it. All right, cool. All right, big up, family. Sorry about that. I had some technical issues and I had no idea I didn't press the live button. Don't forget to telephone live. Not tomorrow. Even if you don't catch it, the show is always repeated. Oh, come on! Are you telling me the thing came off? Come on. Sorry, I'm just gonna pull this out one more time. Sorry, my speakers are disconnected. There you go. Please tell me this works. I want to buy a new wagon. All right. Hopefully you can hear me. I can see the thing is doing that, so that's good. Yeah, just so you know, I've got a good show. It's a continuation of last week, plus some extras. Very good show for you today. I'm your host, Brother Raven, also known as Rap Raven. And let's get the PDF up. Dum dum dum. It's not gonna. You have to get rid of the video before you can get it up. There you go. All right, so this is the 261st episode. That's 261 attempts at finding solutions for the Black community. Oh yeah. Now I don't want to use the speakers on my laptop, but I might have to. Whatever. Let's go. Cool. Let's see. So don't forget to follow the Black Betterment Building Instagram. I'll post a link. I'm sure you're gonna click on it with supreme haste. Put it up there just because you do that. All right, so let's start the shows. We always start all the shows. Unfortunately, Black people have a terrible history, and a whole lot of traumatic atrocities have happened. And because of that, we like to think that if we were there, we would be thinking in the future, how do you want your ancestors to react because of this tragic past? So we have there's four elements there. The retroactive expectations we split in four. And there's remember the atrocities inflicted upon the ancestors and community in the past and present and behave in a way that reflects this. Oh yeah. And also reconnect with Black people locally and globally and form networks and teach each other about different cultures. Yes. Also repair the Black community of historical trauma that causes self-hate challenges and health issues. And last but by no means least, rebuild the Black family, economics, and Black nation. So these are the four I guess, sections of the retroactive expectations that we would assume if we were being massacred and killed in the past, we would want our ancestors to remember. Well, some might say we've forgotten this. Some might say no, but we have these principles here. Some might say these are called ancestral obligations and community commitments. And this Black Betterment is a part of that. So how do we go about trying to get these things done? Well, we say let's have a lifestyle called Black Betterment. And that's Black people continuously helping Black people. Right. And that's what the show is promoting. It promotes a lifestyle of Black people helping Black people. This is a solution. Now you know. So if you're ever wondering, what can we do? You do this. You just practice a lifestyle and you teach it. And you incorporate elements of Black Betterment into every single aspect of your life. Small steps, big steps. There's nothing's too small, no, it's too big. Let's put in a B1 mentality. Black first. There you go. All right. So we focus on Black families, Black economics, and Black health. But this week we have two topics. And that, don't forget discipline, dedication, dignity, and discernment. The links are there. So if you ever jump in the show, don't forget these 4D values. Very important. Very important that you understand discipline, dedication, dignity, and discernment. Voila. I'm just going to plug this out one more time and then put it back in like that. And hopefully that will fix the audio. We'll test it. I'll test it on a thing. Try to use derogatory language, try to use descriptive language. So the two topics today are racist death reactions. We discuss from a strategy standpoint how best to react to the death of anti-Black racists. And the second topic is and this is a continuation of last week, Black, and this is like reworded just so it can be in a more constructive way. Black men versus Black women reasoning. We discuss how best to hold solutions talks. I guess solutions talks between. It would be solutions talk or solutions talks. I don't know. Between Black men and Black women. I guess if it's multiple, then yeah, it would be talks, wouldn't it? Yeah. Cool. English. So where are we? Yeah. So we what I'm gonna do I'm just gonna test my audio while playing a video of people who once owned enslaved Africans, black people. Yeah, let's see if it plays for the speakers over.
Life like in those early days.
As far as the colored people were concerned, I feel that they were a good bit happier than they are now. They had less in the way of material things. But I can remember back in the 20s, when I was a small boy, they were always singing at their work. They had a great sense of humor. And now today, they just don't seem to care much about that as they used to. And I think they've lost their sense of humor somewhat, which I deplore.
What do you think are the differences between the races?
I think there's a refusal to accept responsibility. I think there's a lack of motivation. I've tried here to promote people to foremen, superintendents, but they just refuse to do it. They just don't want the responsibility. They don't worry like the white man. If they have troubles, they go to sleep and wake up the next morning, and that trouble is over.
Is it possible that white people have something to do with the lack of ability for blacks to assimilate into this culture?
Absolutely. The white man has certainly been prejudiced and to quite an extent unfair. But customs die awful hard. It takes a long time, and everyone knew years ago that the Negro would have to be given equality. But in the South, knowing Negroes as we think we do, we realized it would take time. It's been compared to straightening teeth. It takes a slow, steady pressure. You can't do it with a hammer. And white people's attitudes will change in time. I'm a lot more liberal than I was 5 years ago, and I know I'll be a lot more liberal 5 years from now, and I think almost everyone else is in that category.
What has tended to make you more liberal?
Well, realization that the Negro is a human being like anyone else.
Mr. Hasty, what did you think we were before you began to think of us as human beings?
Well, in a way, we thought of you almost as a very superior pet. Something, or rather someone, we had to take care of because we had to do so much of their thinking for them. We had to do almost everything for them except living their own lives. Anything outside, we had to do for them.
So Daisy was my little playmate, my maid, my friend, and the daughter of old Catherine, who was the cook that we adored. And so all those years, we played together, and everyone was happy. We never heard of all these things that we hear about today. And there were nearly 100 enormous rice plantation with many animals around and a beautiful old house and about 100 colored people there. But we loved them, they were our friends. And then it's no disgrace to say they're like children. When we say that, it's because they are like happy children, some of them. Because they like to sit in the sun and rather than work hard. And they'd rather play than work.
If you could, would you paint a picture for us of what it was like on the plantation in your early days?
It was a lovely, happy time living in open spaces with many lovely colored people and animals and flowers and fields. My father had everything thoroughbred, from the pigs, horses, the dogs, and the people had to be thoroughbred. And we would get into a buggy with him and drive to the plantation from what we call the pine land where we lived. And we would spend, every Saturday this was, and we would spend the day in old Fortune, I can see him now. would give us dinner, and we would have a heavenly time. And old April, he was the dairyman. That's all he did. All he did was to skim the cream over these great big bowls of clabber and put them in the wooden churn and churn this marvelous fresh butter. That was April's job. He didn't do anything else but love us and skim the cream.
Very interesting. Yeah. So this is old footage of white people own the land and farms, or they had black people work for them. I think before slavery was ended, and as you see, like they think that black people were happier when they were enslaved, and don't want to work and lazy, and they're doing us a favor, all that kind of stuff. This kind of connects to, I guess, what is one of the topics today, the racist death reaction. For those who don't know, there was a guy. His name, Fowles forget his now. I'll read it when I find it. But he was shot. Let me see what his name. Hold on. Open video. It's Stomach Clerk. Let's see what his name. He's a deaf racist one. Huh? To deaf. Yeah, Charlie Kirk. I think there you go. Yeah, so I'm very familiar with him. I've seen videos of him before, and he's debated other people, and a very extremist. Yeah, Charlie. There you go. Very, very extreme view, and a big following, and in America, and has quite a few anti-black views. Very very consistent in his anti-blackness. But yeah, he was killed yesterday, the day before. I can't remember, by a sniper. I think they've caught the guy, a white gentleman. Maybe the opposite party, maybe the same party. I don't know. But the more the topic of what we're saying here is, let me remove that. The first topic is racist death reaction. How best to react to. Let me just put this on read mode. There it is. Yeah, how best to react to. Why did that pop up? What was that? That shouldn't be there. Can we get rid of it? Whatever. I don't ask anything. Whatever. Yeah, how best to react to when anti-black racists are killed. This comes from I see some people either celebrating or some people deeply mourning. Let's check out some videos before I say anything. Really, that's just so we can paint a better picture. And let's see what we can do. So I think it's part 2. I call it. Oh no, it's part 1. So
all right, Pete.
Let's see. I'm just gonna see some stuff.
What's your opinion? Wait, read.
Was it Charlie hates black women? Hates. I had one. I'm just trying to. I had. Where's that long one I had? I had a long one. There it is. This shouldn't be there. Oh, it's up there. Ta-da! Found it.
You wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman. I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? Thomas Sowell and Justice Clarence Thomas are far better black role models to celebrate than Martin Luther King, period. End of story. This guy is not worthy of a national holiday. He is not worthy of godlike status. In fact, I think it's really harmful. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52. I'm going to trust the Lord. I know what we're saying is true. I was disappointed because I said, listen, guys, you could hate what I'm doing. You could criticize it. I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist, okay? I live what I believe. No. What do I do? I get Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks. We would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color. But I can declare that I did not graduate on affirmative action. This is my personal story.
I hear because of action affirmative. She can't even say that. We know. It's very obvious to us that you were not smart enough to be able to get in on your own.
All right, so that's the person who was assassinated a few days ago. Hey, so I mean, there's I would say there's the way social media works now, and I always try to warn black people is you're going to realize that the people who get the most attention are the ones who have like the more strongest views, and what happens is you start seeing the pattern that the stronger the views and the more shock you do, the more you get clicks, and the more clicks you get money, and the more money, all this kind of stuff, right? And when I debate certain people here, I talk to certain people, it does seem like some people are very, very click driven, right? And that means sometimes like actually having a solution doesn't actually get paid. So I would say be wary about really trying to outdo the last click and say the most extreme thing, because these things can happen where you trigger unstable people, or stable people, depends really. But not that you should be governed by people who's willing to kill you, because if that's the case, no black person should do anything, because helping black people is a dangerous task. History will tell you that. You know what I mean. But yeah, you want to watch that. But then this individual was assassinated. And I guess some people were jumping around and dancing. I think I saw a few messages. I think Umar said, this is Umar Johnson, with the issues he's got going on. But he did say, you shouldn't really do that. I wouldn't recommend that. His whole speech about it. And then there's some other people as well. And yeah, I think the best way I can say it is everything has to be put down to a political strategy. So I don't think it works in black people's best interest to ever celebrate any assassination, regardless of, for the most part, regardless of the people involved. I think there should be a principle of what we expect discussion and discourse to be, and we should expect that there's going to be extreme opposites. And just like the video we showed where the people were naively or happily, gleefully racist without even bother to contemplating that this is actually bothersome or anti-black behavior. You kind of want people who are against black people to tell you this, right? Like, I don't think making them scared is a good strategy. I think knowing who is against your progress is very important. Big up everyone in the house, by the way. So there's multiple reasons why I would strongly recommend that we don't celebrate the assassinations of anyone, even if their views are diabolical. I've got some other videos of maybe other people's reaction. I think we still can find some. Let's see. What have I got?
In fact, I even.
Oh, no, not that. No, I'm not gonna play that. Doesn't this thing auto update? I've got, I don't have to.
Black pilot.
I don't even use it, but let's have this one. Let's have a Pan African view. This might be a better one. Let's have this one.
I just have to speak power to the situation. I'm not glorifying the fact that he was unalive, but we're gonna speak truth to power. So we are not gonna make this man a martyr just because he was unalive. What he did was promote violence, verbal violence against the African community and other communities of marginalized status, okay? And it says here, yes, words are a powerful form of psychological and emotional violence. Words can be violent. Some of us still dealing with trauma that we've heard from our parents growing up. Words are a form of violence. It can be just as damaging as physical violence. So what he did was a form of violence against the African community. Still not justifying his unaliving though. Now, I hear people on social media saying, well, we should be able to disagree in this country and have different opinions and views and push forward without it resulting to violence. Does that apply to black people? Because if so, I need some retroaction to be done. I need some of these ancestors to come back because they disagree with a lot of the politics of Western society. I mean, the list goes on up into the 2000s. Don't worry about Gaddafi. And yes, I understand that Charlie Kirk does have children. But what about the children of our leaders who were unalived for politically disagreeing with the Western world? You should not allow Western media or your YT friend that's real cool paint you down a guilt trip when they have been practicing these type of politics against us for the longest. I mean, we even can go to Joel, who was unalived, right? And let me just say this. Haitians, Haitians, don't let nobody tell you that your country ain't safe. When in this country, you got these type of things happening. Don't let nobody talk down on Haiti when you got these things happening in this country. Political discourse ended in violence. I mean, we almost lost President Trump before he became president again. And let's be clear, this is not a new thing. This is how they do their politics. In the culture of racism, white supremacy, is get down or lay down. I mean, you can go ahead and ask the Native Americans. Or you can ask these 4 beautiful African girls who was just going to church in their Sunday's best. Words of our ancestor, Fred Hampton, we understand that politics is nothing but war without bloodshed, and war is nothing but politics with bloodshed. Side note, Fred Hampton was also unalive for disagreeing politically with the Western world. In conclusion, there have been a lot of political attacks here in the United States versus senators and lawmakers. And again, I'm not justifying, but what I'm saying is we have to stop what Marimba Ani calls the rhetorical rhetoric in European culture. The idea that it's good for you, but not good for us. You cannot enact violence on other governments and other groups of people and not expect that violence in some way, shape, or form to spin back around like a boomerang. In conclusion, in the words of the late great Tupac Shakur, in his song Blasphemy, he says, should we cry when the Pope died? My request, we should cry if they cried when we buried Malcolm X.
All right, big over there. Yeah, so, you know, the European community and political community out there who have strong views against other communities, they have to expect that something's going to happen. You know, it's almost like a tipping point, you know, the edge that you can, you know, once you pass. But that doesn't mean that, you know, we should celebrate or you know, make videos of a certain kind of nature or whatever. Now remember, this is not a personal thing. This is a strategic thing. You know, it's always best to have the higher ground when it comes to these kind of things and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so there was a few. I was going to show you. I've got this. I will show you exactly what I mean. But this is a bad example because this guy is a clickbaiter. So this guy, you know, he's just a clickbaiter, isn't he? This is a better.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Kirk's death. The nigga don't give a fuck about no white man dying. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'll stop there. He'll keep going on, and he'll start talking about black men dying off as well. And what I said, this is the internet where, you know, controversial gets clicks, and hence why he's even here. But yeah, know that same kind of energy is what got this guy, whatever. So try to maintain, you know, a decorum and a constructive behavioral plan. I would recommend. But if you disagree, you can be the opposite and let me know, you know, if you notice any differences. You know what I mean? No trolling in the thing, pan, please. You'll be banned. Once I ban people, I block people. I don't remember to unblock them, so you'll probably be banned forever. I wouldn't even know. So please behave yourself. Anyway, yeah. So I guess I can leave that there. I can move on to the more pressing topic, but yeah, we just covered that because this is fresh news, and you know I know it's you know people were. You know, there was actually one more thing. This also another behavior that people need to really watch out for is this kind of behavior.
Black indicates it.
Where is it? I think it's somewhere. This kind of behavior.
Oh my god! My god, Charlie! Charlie, oh my God. Oh no, my God. Oh my, oh God. Charlie doesn't deserve this. What is going on? What is going on? 31-year-old, beautiful wife, 2 children, now he's gone. This is evil. This is not acceptable. This is evil. Why? So we have become so divided in this country that people don't have political opinion. People have taken it upon themselves.
I don't know this woman is circling around the internet. Phil's asking. I think she's an African sister who obviously probably a Trump supporter, right leaning, and she probably follows all the ideologies of the individual who was assassinated believed told. It's very worrying to see. I mean, I don't know why you would make this video and send it. Maybe I don't know who made the video or why she was sending it out, but she wanted the world to see it.
To kill anyone that speak truth. Doesn't Charlie have the right to speak the truth, irrespective of the fact whether you agree on what he said?
Yeah, I've talked before about Africans and Caribbeans, some who go to America and they're not really synchronized with the politics of the African Americans, and they end up following behavioral patterns of anti-black racist stuff. This sister might correlate with that. I don't know. I don't really know if she has a podcast or anything like that.
I know what he believes. What kind of world is this? This is not America. This is not the kind of America we dream for our children. Charlie is gone. Confirmed by President Trump. Oh my God, this is unfair. This is evil. The media has done this. The leftists have done this. They have ridiculed this man for years, calling him and rebranding him what he's not. This is political violence. This is out of terrorism. This is not acceptable. If it's Charlie today, tomorrow, it can be me, it can be you, it can be anybody. This is unacceptable. Oh my God, Charlie. Rest in peace. Oh my God, I pray for the family. This is evil. This is bad.
Okay, so I hope the auntie's okay. But yeah, very peculiar. But once again, this is something we have to unpack. This kind of like people who follow. There's many black people in America who's more, I guess you could say, right leaning, and these are the kind of people that they follow and they agree. Even though a lot of their rhetoric might be undermining them, they agree with the way they go. That's what it is. But yeah, we'll spend less time on that. Let's now go to the topic that is a continuation of last week. Very important topic because one that we have to unpack week to week. We're going to try to find solutions. That was there was a gentleman last few weeks back, a black ginger comedian, who that was his whole branding thing. He called Ginger J. Yep. And he made statements about not liking and wants to be with black women, and it caused a major upset on the internet. And I think one thing for me is the reaction to, obviously there's many different reactions, but clearly there was a black woman reaction and a black man reaction. And I think what it is some of the things you think people are going to say, they don't say. I think some people feel they can't say something what they feel, and some people, what they feel might come from a place of a certain kind of understanding. Who knows? So I think what I was doing here was I guess asking the question. And before I ask the question, let's see if I can just paint the picture with certain things. So let's see. So I've got tons of videos. So let me play a few. Let's see what we have. Is it number? It's number 2, isn't it? So let me check what number 2's got. So we'll look at certain things as it unfolds, some people's views on stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see, not the woman crying again. So yeah, first of all, this is the brother. This brother he worked for. He worked for a brother who the kind of battling world, this kind of stuff. So this is his views.
I'll never forget this. There's an Asian. His phone rang. He thinks, "Yo, my nigga, where are you?" I know he was talking to another Indian.
Oh, sorry, this is actually not the one. So I might have downloaded the wrong one. You know, let's check. I might have it again. If not, shame on me twice. But anyway, if you know, this is the gentleman who works for him. And I think he's asked him to leave.
Yeah.
But he made a video. I actually couldn't download one of his. It might be that one. Let me check. Black Woman Hates.
What makes it, even if you still what? I see you said okay in the game.
I might not have it. No. Anyway, yeah, so that one. But that gentleman there is the guy who's let him go. Let me see if I can find some other interesting stuff. Hold on.
He says,
yeah, so this is obviously in Birmingham and Bristol, so I come over this.
Let's date black women because you can't be put in your place. Because you can't be put in a place.
Got too much mouth.
That's what
I'm agreeing with it.
So you don't date black women. Look at your top lip shaking when you're saying it. Oh, you top. I am alive with women.
Black women, but other women are way easier, bro.
Bro, you're shaking, bro. You can't say it confidently.
I'm saying it the most confidently. Any black woman you chat too much, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, basically they chat too much. They got too much to say. You can't just give them a simple like, "Oh, can you do this for me?" It's always white, and Whitey said, "But my people that are rare to speak to more." You know what I'm saying? A white person, or somebody from a different culture, bro. They're just on board from the get go.
I thought you said Greece.
If you go with the white thing, it's gonna be more easier than if you go
that's not true.
That's what I've experienced, and
that's his opinion.
That's probably his experience, and this is the thing. But I think everybody's complicated in all colours. It don't make it just eventually you get.
Especially black, bro.
You have to just learn to understand people, bro.
You gotta think when you're growing up in a black household and the white people didn't have to fight for the Chris. The black girl did. What? When the brother went downstairs. So she automatically is a more like sort of person. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, this is one individual's views. Okay, let's see if there's some other stuff I can play.
He said, "I don't know."
At the end of this video, I'm going to address the half-hearted responses that I've seen from black men. I don't date black women because I was hurt by one. Okay, let's unpack this. When people get hurt in relationships, they usually look for better partners, not a different race. I never heard William going for Shaniqua because Becky hurt him. Why is it that black women get blamed as a group? I know why. Because we are dealing with a unique form of self-hatred. It sounds like a person saying, I got into a car accident, so now I only ride bikes. Instead of learning how to drive safer, getting guidance, fixing what's broken, or choosing a better car. Don't change your whole mode of transportation just because you had a wreck. Especially if the bike can't take you as far, carry the same load, or match the journey you are on. Black women are not the problem. Your unhealed trauma is. Heal, grow, choose better, not different. How come you can just give up on black women like that, man? After 350,000 years, the longest relationship in human history, because we are the mothers and fathers of civilization, the greatest love story ever told. Starting off in the motherland where the black woman gathered 80% of our daily calories, valued as life givers and knowledge holders. The Nubian queen, Amenirinas, who went to war for your black ass. She gathered 30,000 troops. She lost one eye in a battle and she still continued to fight. They say love is blind. She held you down in Axum, Songhai, Great Zimbabwe. Slavery, apartheid, segregation. And you think say me Olivia? Nah, sir. Most of our relationship together has been healthy. Throughout history will tell you that only in this dunya, in Babylon, is where we're having issues. And to some of the brothers that spoke on this, if you're gonna speak up, say it with your chest.
I was with you. Like, he's allowed to have a preference. You know, he's trying to talk about how she's held him down and picking up his Asian queen. But the moment you went for the hair, my guy, you was on your own.
Let's be clear. We are not dealing with a preference. We are dealing with an emotional tirade on black women. A disdain for black women. Educate yourself. Love yourself without disrespecting others. Read a book by Dr. Ishaka Musa Badashango, African Woman, the original guardian angel. And I pray it wakes you up.
Get that book, African Woman, The Original Guardian Angel. It's on Amazon or any black stores. Let's carry on, see some other videos around this topic. We're just painting a picture so we can ask a question after.
He says this is what I don't know.
This is another gentleman. He said something that
Any race that bashes each other.
So two things this brother's going to do. He's going to highlight something that you hear a lot, that two races don't bash each other. He's also going to do something that I'm going to pause when he does it.
Like black people, bro. We are the only race that degrades and puts down ourselves. I don't see no white, no Asian, no one else.
So the brother, I'm going to be saying he doesn't notice other races, community groups and stuff doing this, and that's much truth. But they're saying that if I knew him, I would tell him, just saying he follows up, which I would try to make him understand as well.
Else does it? I don't get it. The men are the top dogs. The women are the top dogs. Listen, hey, I like all flavors, okay? You might say whatever you want to say, but I like all flavors. When you look like this, you're allowed to get anything you want.
So there, a lot of black men, and obviously the whole bravado thing, whenever we get opportunity to like, the topic is black men mistreating black women, and when you get the microphone, your thing is you still do the preference thing. Like, I like all flavors, but whatever. I don't think that'd be the time to say that, even though I know he's probably in bravado, whoever this gentleman is. That, and I notice that everywhere I go when I do the shows, I'm just discussing black men want the world to know they like everyone. Right? But even in the context of black women being disrespected, it's important that black men let the world know that they want to be with everyone. And this is something that needs to be reviewed.
Fortunately, okay, when I open the Skittles bag, I don't choose the red or the yellow. Everything! I eat everything!
Yeah, it's one saying, like, losing yourself talking about wanting everything. So, but this is the, once again, when we say that a lot of us don't understand, we're already in the error-prone behavior. So even when we're trying to be solution-based and constructive, the error proneness will always be without us even knowing. And that's why this concept of preference, for a black man saying preference, you need to really watch it. Also, when black men say that all black women are this, all black women are that, a lot of them are the first to, if you talk about racism, they're the first to say not all white people are racist. So if you really want to say that not all white people are racist, then why are you quick to say that all black women are something? Once again, we understand what's going on, but we have to say these things so we can paint a picture and we can correct the behavior patterns. Yeah, women have skills. Yeah. Once again, I think knowing how to speak about important topics is important as well. But once again, I don't know. These are people with their YouTube channels and they've got their bravado and their branding. So this might be a normal thing for his behavior. I don't know who he is.
Yeah, but one thing I do not do is say, no, let me disclude the purple. No, I don't want the green ones. Are you bugging? And then cuss the purple, and then you cuss the purple, and you look like a purple. You're cussing it. Come on, bro. We're the only race that degrades our own people. It's mind-boggling.
True and built, brother. But we're also the race where we find it hard to give ideologies that make us focus within. So, being a black man, mentioning the importance of black love, that's powerful. But usually we struggle when we talk about love everyone, love every other community. But really training our men how to publicly say they love black women, that's a priority. But once again, I'll be the controversial one until it's no longer controversial. All right, let's see how other people on their ability. We'll say some women now. See some women.
Okay, black in the kids. I don't know. He said don't know. In the game. Yeah. And take off your wig first of all. Yeah, and show me your hair.
So the sister saying I'm also a poet often.
Yes, he does need therapy because he obviously has some deep-rooted hatred for his own race. It might be from bad experiences dating black women in the past. It might be from the black women in his family. Who knows? So yeah, I agree with the young lady, I think her name was Blanco, that said to him, listen, for the fact that your default setting when you were triggered was to start going for black women, that shows that you have some deep-rooted issues, and I think you need to to go to therapy for that. I agree with that. It's more than just having hatred for black women. It's how he views women, period. Because this man really stood there and said he doesn't date black women because they don't know their place. They don't like being put in their place. All that says is you don't like being challenged. You feel that because you are a man, your voice is more important than a woman's voice. That is concerning to me. And actually, it paints women outside of the black race as though they can be taken like a fool. Basically, it's telling me that he thinks that non-black women are easier to manipulate, can be spoken to and treated anyhow and they'll accept it. They will just submit to you because you are a man. I don't think that's fair. Me personally, I do prefer to have a man that can lead, who commands respect. It's just an aura thing. Ginger J doesn't have that aura. He's aggressive. That's different. The amount of aggression he showed in that clip is scary. And I know, yes, he's recently come out of prison, but I would be petrified if my man was moving like that in a discussion, in a public place, because that means he can do that to me in the house. None of the guys in the back could tell him that, first of all, don't talk like that about black women, because you probably have black women in your family. And two, don't talk like that about women at all. Not one of them could say, whoa, what you're saying is out of line. Don't say that. Don't do that. Don't be so aggressive.
That's the truth. That's why these shows, we need to get, that's why ideology matters. So on these shows, having someone who's pro-black or black Batman or a big one or Pan-African or something that aligns with constructive black progression. But if you just have, like I said, if the way we see it is, if you don't have any ideology that keeps you grounded in black Batman, then you're going to do the opposite ideology, which is anti-blackness. That'll be a normal thing. And that's why sometimes we have jokes and giggles and good times as we're speaking. But when you analyze what we're saying, it's all based in anti-blackness.
None of them said that. They all stood there and laughed. I don't care if people are trying to say that they laughed at him or they laughed with him. Regardless, none of them opened their mouth to say, bro, don't talk like that. This isn't cool. Every single one of them were complicit. So for me, it proves a point that I've made in the past. There's only a small handful of black men that will stand up and advocate for black women unprovoked. You see the rest of them, they're complicit because they don't get involved when they need to get involved. And to be honest, it's not even just a black man thing, it's a man thing, period. If it's not directed at them, they don't see any reason to get involved. So as much as I understand that, yes, it is an attack on black women, and rightfully so, we have every right to feel the way that we feel about that interaction, it's also about women in general. It's also about the fact that women in general are not respected, and this is another example of that.
All right. And so he was I don't know if this is the right time, but I think I had another video with it. Hold on.
I know this not first of all. In fact, before you read, in fact, before you read, in fact, all right.
So I got so many videos.
First of all,
is this one?
Apology video.
Let's see what these men say. Hold on.
The apology video, yeah.
My mental health took a big hit, bro.
So yeah, he and this is something I noticed as well. He's talking about he's got mental health, and we wish him well. And what I was invited on a show today, funny enough, but I don't know where the guy went. He wanted me to our show an hour ago. He's been on the show one time, this guy. But it was because I brought up something about and some guys I was talking to a few days ago did the same thing, where the focus then becomes on the person who caused the issue, which is the ginger gentleman, where people check up on him, and you should check up on him. And I said that there should be like an apology tour before you ever kind of deal with helping this brother with his issues, because his trauma or whatever will trigger many women's trauma, and they're the victims because they're the innocent bystanders in it. But a lot of men, they want to focus, the ones I spoke to, they want to focus on him. And there was one incident where I think there was a rapper. He played the video and he then played a black love video about him loving black women. And I think this guy who wanted to debate me or whatever, who's got quite a big show, he said, "Oh yeah, he was wrong for that. He was causing issues. He was kicking him out when he was down." So he saw a black man posting a black love video, as kicking a man when he was down. And then I think he liked I think we met on some rapping video where there's a guy rapping about. It was quite mutual, talking about they're both wrong or something like this. It's like some blah blah blah. Oh, that's interesting. So that's something that I would like to discuss this kind of stuff, to be honest. This pattern that I'm seeing. Let's carry on listening.
So I had to just take a break and just get myself better rather than being my emotions. Just be an adult about my shit and just be accountable. Be like, hey, motherfucker, take a step back because you're just doing too much. So yeah. So we're here now. Like, loads of people are monetizing off my name and these kind of things. So I brought it on myself. I've got to take the punches. I've got to take the shots. I've got to take whoever wants to shoot at me. I've got to take it, man. I can't stay away. I can't just be out here just trying to act like I'm hiding or like I'm just gonna stay away, man. I'm here, man. We're gonna do better. It's my fault for not being internet ready, for not studying the world that I'm actually in when I do that. I study environments because of prison. But I should have paid more attention to the environment that I was in. I should have paid more attention. I should be more mindful. Because I know how to do it. It's not a difficult thing.
So what you're showing is he isn't troubled by what he believes. He stands by it. It's, I guess, how he said it and saying it in that time. I guess that's where he's always going to find himself in a fire line, because he hasn't actually accepted that what he's saying the community doesn't respect.
But you know one thing he didn't do? He didn't even apologize. He said, I didn't stop doing too much. And I wasn't media trained.
I realized I was doing too much and all that. But why are you still talking? You're still doing too much.
Me personally, the advice I would give to Ginger J, bro, stop putting videos out there. Stop talking. You're not media trained. You don't have a PR team. Everything you're saying is digging a bigger hole for you. My brother, you were in the wrong. Just be firm about your apology. Like I said from the video about the first apology, be sincere about your apology, bro. You said
what he doesn't realize as well, yeah.
And where's your Indian woman? Where is she? That's what I'm saying. Where is she for you now? Where's the Indian community for you now?
We say the same thing, isn't it? That you've done the rain dance and the campaign for the Asian woman, but I don't see a slew of Asian women jumping in front of the bus. And yeah, this is the gentleman. He was in jail for 11 years. I don't know what for, but this was him in jail. Hold on, let's see if I can find him.
Yeah, you can smell it. Yeah, there's drugs and phones all over, Joe, man. People used to hide their shit in the sink, like undo the screws here, the nail clippers or whatever, just put it in there. So that's all I'm telling you. And you got a
I think a lot of the men are upset with this because when you go to jail, well, when you live a certain lifestyle, you shouldn't really be. They say you shouldn't be telling all the secrets of criminality behind the bars.
You can call whoever you want, text whoever you want. You can have nighttime one day views with your missus on the phone. You see what I'm saying? Like, talk about whatever you want, sort shit out, sort your money out, sort your business out on road. Have you ever had a phone ring, son? Yeah. It's powered, I got rid of it, it's too paranoid, way too paranoid. No matter what, they will get it. First time, yeah, they got away with it, cops can't find my shit. Second time, come, but you know the cops ain't getting my shit. Third time, come, yo, blood, they come close, man, they palm it off on someone. As soon as they palm it off on that person's gonna get spun. Next week, boom, someone else got spun. Can't relax because these girls have intelligence.
Yeah, these guys are never good. Now we're going to let me see. I was going to see this. Give me a second. Hold on.
All right. In fact, first take off your. Let me pull up the. I know this nasty. No prison shit. No.
This was him on stage. I mean, no, I forget. I won't play one.
In the kids. I see. He said you in the walk. I don't know.
This is an interesting thing as well. This was a video that I want to play as well. So this is obviously
when a black man.
So the pattern of black men who hate black women, for whatever reason, you know when it's there because they'll bring up black women at any kind of function that involves women.
He goes on a television show to find love with white women, and all he does is drag black women. That's not about preference. That's internalized hatred.
My name is T, 40 years old. I own my own dump truck business.
Very good. What would you say you're looking for in a real one?
This right here, man. Snow bunnies.
Oh, you like the white women?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, that's why you're here, and I'm happy to have you here. Now, let's go for this. In relationships, there are heartbreakers, deal breakers, red flags. What's something you wouldn't tolerate in a relationship?
I don't date black women.
Well, okay, that doesn't have anything to do with a deal breaker. So can you focus on qualities, not color, but qualities you don't like?
Okay, well, I don't like a loud woman.
Okay.
White women are quiet. Black women are loud.
Once again, I don't need you to mention or disrespect black women. There's loud women in every culture. So can you move forward without mentioning race or ethnicity or?
Okay, so I like a woman that's submissive, right?
Okay.
White women, they listen. Black women don't listen to me.
Okay, if you're going to be disrespectful to black
I don't know if this is a comment scare. I don't know. Someone have to know if this is a comment scare or what, but either way, since no
women, then I'm going to ask you to leave.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Okay, so I didn't mention color.
Okay.
So give me a quality. So you don't like loud.
Yes.
You want a submissive woman.
Yes.
You have one more.
Yes.
Without color.
I like nice hair when I could rub my fingers through it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
White women, hair silky. Black women, nappy wigs falling all off at the club. You know what I mean? Dry.
You're being disrespectful. Okay, that's enough. I'm gonna ask you to leave if you can't be respectful.
Well,
so okay.
Have a good one.
Okay. Yeah. If you can't,
I keep it real. All right.
Okay. It doesn't matter. That's not real. That's rude, and there is a difference. So
If the show is about him finding love with white women, why is he repeatedly bringing up what he doesn't like about black women? See, a preference is about something that you like. Internalized hatred is about something you've been taught to dislike, especially when it's about your own people. And when you can't even describe your type without taking shots at black women, even when they're not even a part of the dating pool, you're not just sharing your taste. You're reinforcing every racist, sexist stereotype that this country has ever thrown at them. And the fact that the host had to tell him multiple times, like, bro, just say what you want without bringing up race, shows how deep this runs. It's not enough for him to say, I like this. He also says, I don't like that. And that is always his own women. White supremacy's greatest trick wasn't just oppressing us. It was teaching us how to oppress each other. So when a black man uses his platform to tear down black women, it's just not exposing them. It's exposing him also.
We got the sister there. Now, I'm hoping that was a skip, but I could be wrong. And now, I don't know. There was this one video here. This will be the last one. Let me check for them.
Get off your way.
I think it's this one. Yeah. Let me open and stop it, right? So,
show me your head.
So this is connected, but I don't think it should be connected, but it's connected to what was said, and it might be connected to the second part of the exercise we're going to do today. But this is a woman who's made a poem, good or bad, right or wrong, about, I guess, what he said.
I'm tired of you being fake.
Here he's kind of right. Never have I ever left my house and seen an afro wig glued onto the forehead of someone Asian, Indian or white.
I love to see black hair.
More time there's not a single natural haired black woman in sight.
Okay, that was a skit. Oh, good. Thank goodness. But it still was a bit odd skit anyway, to be honest.
And it's sad because I love us so much despite the fake, but the hair that grows from our own heads barely ever sees the light. Hardly any of us can be fully natural and feel confident and beautiful enough to go out at night. Ginger J was full of rage. I'm not on that page. I'm respectful and I'm keeping it polite. This might sting some people a little, but it's more of a love bite because I love my sisters. But it's either weaves, lace fronts or braids that are way too too fucking tight. What example are we setting for our daughters? Hiding, covering up, relaxing, not showing up as who we are. Is it dissatisfaction with ourselves, or is it fright? And I know there'll be 50 excuses for every one thing that I write. And I didn't even want to speak on this because I really don't want to fight. But I have to show up for truth. Ginger J, thanks for the invite.
Well, yeah, this is so. Truth of the matter, the hair discussion should be started and led by women. I think there's a lot of poets and rappers are using this to do their kind of poetry, and big up them. But it taps into the whole hair topic, and that's one that has to be taken very lightly, very what's the word? Cautiously. It's a very triggering topic, but that leads on to let me go back to the thing. What I was going to say, and that was we did a show a few maybe years now. I don't know, and I think we was a couple of weeks of talking to black women. We invited black women on the show. It took some time, but to just ask the feelings of black women and their expectations of black men. Before that time, there was a lot of black men doing, I guess, what we do when we in discussion and we start shining a whole lot of stuff, but we never then got to hear the opinions of black women. So I think one thing I'm thinking of is to start this kind of campaign or discussion of how, I guess, to fix these challenges or these behavior patterns that we see. I guess one exercise we could do is to get the men in the room, a man individual, whatever it is, and have them. What 2 issues would black men like black women to fix? So that's black men. There are issues of things that black women are doing or not doing. What if you had to write 2 things that I want you to do or focus to fix these things? What would that be? And then to black women, what 2 issues would black women like black men to fix? So from I would like our men to do this, more of that, less of that, do these kind of things. It'd be good to get a consensus of what the number one thing is, because then you'll see something that is a priority in people's mind, but also the severity of it. It might be more severe to them than actually is, or it might be not severe to them but important to the community. I don't know. So that's a very good question. Now, that's I guess that's the homework I'll give you guys. As in, or we could have people jumping out. We could have people jumping in now to discuss it. Remove that. To discuss. Where's the finger? Did I get rid of it? Or something? Oh no! You know what? You can't even see it. Sorry about it, guys. Yeah, there it is. There's me just talking. I forgot I didn't even upload it. So yeah, there you go. What 2 issues would black? There you go. What 2 issues would black men like black women to fix? And what 2 issues would black women like black men to fix? So yeah, if you can think about that, what in your mind, you can. I mean, we could do some exercises now. If someone wants to jump in or jump in and have a talk, we might separate sexes. I don't know. You let us know if you want men and women on the same panel, or we might just whatever. Or it might be a homework, and as time goes by, I make a list, and then at a certain time, we read out the list and see. Okay, here's the consensus. Because I suspect that it'll be very consistent. And I suspect black men. I'm pretty sure I would know what the black man would want, and it'll be quite consistent. But then I suspect there'll be a dynamics of what is important for black men to then what is important for black women. But this might be the perfect time to have that exercise, and then we have those 2 things, and those 2 things each now could be the topic, right? The discussion of why people thought that, what historically happened, is it important enough, or why is it that only one side of the community values these things, and blah 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 blah. So that might be it. So if in your mind, if you had like the power to just change something overnight, black women, and you're talking to black men, what would you pick? Think about it. Write down a piece of paper, maybe message in the group. I don't know. I don't know how we would do this. We could have this everyone know it, or maybe turn up one day and read it, or something. I don't know. But it would be interesting for people to really pick their mind and think, what is it? The 2 stuff that that challenges me most about the situation, because obviously I'll play a video like this is, and I don't agree with name calling, but this is a woman and she's probably whatever.
Take off your wig.
Yeah, so obviously this is Instagram and people screaming.
Nasty, dirty, stick.
So yeah, we want to stay away from name calling and stuff, but this will be a way of doing it. So find out what is it that we want people to do, and then and have a discussion on it.
Thinking crab louse of a man ain't chatting about black women. Listen up, you ginger dundus blood clot. Don't fucking utter our names in your blood clot mouth, you understand? Sitting up here being proud that you don't fucking date black women.
Excuse the language.
Like we want to date you. Crying and whinging and whining about how no one was there for you after 11 years after you come out of prison. For some reason you expect bumper clock black women to be there for you, and none of us weren't, because we're not fucking idiots. Because one thing I do know, Sebastian the fucking crab,
Excuse us, right?
you won't be able to sniff it, much less blood clot fuck it. The reason why you don't get ratings from black gal is because you're not that guy. You never were and you never will be. And you're sitting around calling yourself a blood clot black king. You're not no king. You're a damn blood clot peasant. Talking about, both of my
So we don't agree with name calling, but this is what we're trying to avoid, and how we can avoid it is by establishing what are the two issues that black men, these kind of black men, are complaining about. And he mentioned two of them. And I suspect many men will jump on, because these are the men, when you look at the comments, go, yeah, but. And then to empower black women, what two issues do you collectively see in many black men, or black people, black men in general, that you want corrected? The two main, like, what should black men do? What do you want black men to do? And you go, okay, we want black men to do this and this, or we want them to do none of this, or not do that, or do this. And black men can be the same. And then what you'll realize is, I suspect, the two wants are completely different. They're not even in the same ballpark. It's like they don't look like they're related. And that's because the needs and the focuses of black men and black women are in different areas. And that will be interesting. I'm not gonna play the rest of this, but I'm sure she just effing blind for the whole thing. Sorry about that. I don't recommend, but yeah, that's her show. That's what she does. Clicks and stuff. So yeah, that's what I recommend. That's what I recommend. Add this one. How do you remove it? Remove. Yeah. So this is something to think about. If anyone wants to jump on now and have discussion about this, let us know. It would be good to hear black women's voices on this topic. And also, the lady did the poem about hair and stuff. I actually had one other thing about hair as well. This is another woman talking. I didn't say it. This is a black woman's approach to hair.
In fact, black at least I don't. Why do you put on desire in?
Oh, that's got. I don't know if they've got to play as well, which is interesting. Let me just. Oh, this is a good one as well. I should play this. Let me play the hair one, then I'll play this one. This is important.
Indian human hair. Can I ask? You know how we get that hair? When nothing goes right in the life of a Hindu person, they go through a ceremony called Tansho, where the priest in the temple incantates all the bad luck they are facing onto the hair, because for them to cut hair is such a taboo. But so that it indicates a new phase of metamorphosis, they shave their hair clean. They used to burn that hair because they understood they're burning all the bad luck, until they realized the stupid African woman wants to put it on their head. So you buy your own bad luck and you put it on your head. So I think I'll leave it there.
That's what the sister has her opinion on that. And there was one thing I saw a sister said that was quite interesting as well. This is slightly different, but I forgot to play it. Yeah, this is about the dating stuff.
Political, and interestingly political, is when a black woman dates outside of her race, she's dating the person who actually accepts her. When a black man is dating outside of his race, he's dating who he accepts. So just keep that in mind, and be very, very dubious of the black men who love to falsely pander to black women by making music and art declaring black women as goddesses and shea butter and melanin glistening and black girl magic, but your baby mum and the entirety of your dating history has been light-skinned women / mixed race, ambiguous, and I would even throw in white women in there. And that's another reason why desire is political, because politics is also a performance. You know, men can perform desire, right? And that's why black women need to be more dubious of black men, because there'll be black men who will tell you what they think you want to hear. Oh, melanin princess. You know, people must tell you that being dark skinned ain't attractive. I think your skin is so beautiful.
If you say that black,
They're hoping that you're insecure enough to be like, me? You find me beautiful despite my dark skin? Wow. I'm falling in love with you. That's what they want. That's what they want to happen.
Interesting perspective there. Like there's a lot of trauma in the black community, and yeah, it all has to be addressed really. And that's why Black Betterment is a community-only concept, really, because you can't really fix a community while including others. And even within the community, there's so much dynamics and challenges and pain that you need a real open space and open ideology to really deal with it and try to fix one challenge without opening another one. So yeah, recognizing that darker skinned men need brothers and sisters, more so towards the sisters, have faced many issues throughout history, and you have to have a solution to them. And making black men constructive and loving black women is part of that process. Also, this other video was very good as well. Let me play it. We played this last time. And if you're a black woman, want to jump on, let me know. Where is this? Hold on, video. The last one, yo. There you go. Where's this one? Yeah, this is an interesting video. Very important one.
That black women aren't your preference. It's the lack of protection around black women. Right. It's the lack of having someone stand up for them. It's the lack of having black men stand in for them. It's that for me. You can love who you love all you want, but why does this love and your preference always come with a margin of we can talk about black women however we want? I don't see any other race hang their women out to dry the way black men do black women. I have yet to see it. Black men, a lot of them are just on the edge of their seat, waiting. Ooh, is this my chance?
Now it is, what some man don't understand is that no one cares about what you're attracted to, like what girls you like, or even the reasons behind it, you get me? That don't matter, you get me? That's between you and them. That's down to preference. You have to live
preference again.
Your best life, you have to live your best life, you get me? Do what works for you. But the man them can't go against their own corner.
So do what best for you. I know this is. Remember, I'm saying this out. This is a normal response, and big up this, bro, where this preference ideology. Like, yes, fine to have a preference and all that. Remember, look at all the things I've been mentioning about trauma, anti-black racism, self-hate, a history of oppression, your finest people marrying out, all these stuff that shows that there's a collective that hasn't recovered, and after all that, there is this word preference, and no one thinks, could this word preference actually be another issue in the black community where it's a beautiful way of masking a form of self-hate automatically, even though you try to make it science, and no, but technically, it's like, can we not just mention black love without saying preference? Can we say, regardless of who people end up with, not just be the default is, let's mention the love for the people in your own group. Something to think about.
I think it's going to end well. That's insanity. Nobody wins when a family feuds. That's crazy behavior. Who do you want to support you if you're going against the people? That's a madness. I can't understand it personally, but maybe I've got the wrong perspective of things, you get me?
I think there's division. So I think two things happen. One, constructive, learned black men are not speaking up loud enough, right, or at all, right? And also one other thing that's happening is the brothers who are speaking up, they're not actually pro-black at all. So their ideology would be like, well, preference is fine, and I can understand people have a preference, just don't make fun of your women. Like, you have a preference, this is fine, but don't mock your women. And I think that should not, even though it's a nice sounding thing, I think what's better saying that we black men love black women, don't mistreat them. See, that's a much more better thing than having to, paint that picture. Well, people like who they like. Do you know what I mean? We welcome Empress Kush. Welcome to the Black Betterment to you, sister. Oh, let me just get this up. Remove that. Sister, your mic's muted, but when you find the thing, feel free to unmute, and it's your time. It's good. But if there's any other sisters who want to jump in, we got a message thing on. Okay, we'll wait for the sister to get back. Meanwhile, let me get rid of this video and get the thing up. Remove that. Remove that. But yeah, this is a very interesting. What is this then? Is this a video?
Indian.
All right, so that one. Cool. Remove that. And this is that. Cool. Just got a lot of stuff, and I've got it. Yeah, so what we're asking the community family is what 2 issues would black men like black women to fix, and what 2 issues would black women like black men to fix? We're going to try to, because remember, most of these topics, these 2 topics will probably cause high anxiety, I suspect. So you have to have a way of approaching it, and the first way of approaching it is writing it down and get a consensus, and then reviewing it, and then maybe focusing on it, and have it read out, or have only one group there, whatever. This is something, and high emphasis. I like to be very deliberate for what I'm trying to achieve. The idea is to make constructive black men like constructive black women, and this is the strategy of doing it, and also changing how narratives are said. I think if we can look at this open world of preference as a problematic way of approaching relationships, whether it's true or not, and if we can connect preference to concepts of it is not normal, there's no other community says preference. Just like everyone argues, they don't see other communities degrade themselves in discussions or videos, whatever. This concept of wanting the world to know that the persons you like is not within your community group, and just by chance are connected to the groups that most oppressed and destroyed you and won't pay reparations. Something's going on. So we should try to highlight that.
Can you hear
Welcome,
me?
sister. Yeah, I can hear you now. Excellent.
Oh yeah.
It's good to hear your voice. Welcome. And yeah, so I guess we're obviously where we're just doing things as we go along now. But one thing I was thinking about is, because of reading the comments and going out on the internet and all that, and seeing the just the shared dialogue and what's going on between black men and black women, I think maybe if I can put it down to like, what are the 2 primaries that black men and black women want within the dynamic? So what is the 2 things? Like, as a black man, I would like black women to value or do or not do or try to do these 2 things, and then ask black women, what are the 2 things you would like black men to do? And imagine it's almost like, imagine it's like a kind of magic wish where it's going to happen. So if you could just go, look, we really want this, and if we get this done, we're in a good space. We're in a good space. I would like to know what those 2 things would be, and that will highlight. Because I think what's happening is black men are saying what's very valuable to us. I'm going to say more so to the other black men in the community, and I feel they feel that no one's taking it serious, or whatever it might be. So the best way to handle it.
Sorry.
Go ahead, sister.
Sorry. Who feels like it's not getting taken seriously?
Black men. I think the type of black men, the everyday universal black man. Right. So that's also the black man who isn't.
Yeah, I get you,
yeah.
The status quo.
Yeah. So it'll be good to get a consensus from the group to see what 2 things they've. I pretty much know what will happen, but we just have to do the exercise anyway. But with black women, it'll be interesting, and I'm pretty sure I know that will go. But either way, it'll be good to get that discussion of. I don't know if like filming a discussion will be a good thing, or just getting a consensus of what was written down. So I don't know, but I do understand that. I suspect we have anxiety, but go ahead, sis.
I've kind of got a different spin on it. Like, I think, number one, I think it's been like a hard day work for that brother. Like, it's been a hard week for him. But I do have a different spin. I think what we're seeing, I mean, apart from like delving into like the obvious and the kind of like I think, as you've highlighted well, like the kind of generic conversation that's happening here, I think there's like a bigger conversation to observe it, where I kind of see it as we say that we want gatekeeping, but I think we have some Disney expectation of how gatekeeping goes. Gatekeeping is going to be quite a harsh reality. It's going to be cold turkey on certain things. It's a unapologetic, militant, disciplined no on certain things. And I think when that hits people who have never had to, or a community that are moving in the spirit of not having to have any type of expectation, any bar set, that looks like attack, that looks like a problem. And I think in the midst, as always, like the good ones shine. And I feel like I feel like the person who should be bigged up the most right now, and this is just from what I know, is the Margs guy that sacked him. I think there's more of a conversation to be said there about what he actually did as a black man doing that.
Yes.
And I feel that even once that happened, the rhetoric of the pandering just increased from certain other men, talking about, oh, he's lost his job now. Oh, you know, the video you shown of him finally being humble, speaking quite articulately, or quite calmly, was able to do all of that when reality hit him. And you know, that's what happens when you get a reality check. That's what punishment looks like. Punishment is not going to be sweet. And that's what gatekeeping that we cry about that we need. And as soon as women had assumed that, certain men who really don't want the gatekeeping started bawling. And other men were looking at it, as you've shown, that, you know, what are you doing? And to put it bluntly, if he disrespected any other woman, he would have lost his job. The white man would have lost his... That white man would have come in and sacked him the same way for disrespecting his women.
Yes.
So I think it's a beautiful thing, because I did not even expect that. That's the thing. I think everything else, nothing really is new here. But that guy standing 10 toes, and some people might say it's pandering or whatever, but as we've always said here, right, perception is key. How you move is key. And he made a visual move, a power move. And he never just did it in silence. He made a statement, and then I saw the video. And of course, there's always someone there giggling in the background and pushing back, which I appreciate that he gave that, allowed that kind. And I don't know this pod. Like, I'll be honest with you, I've never heard of this guy before. I don't know what pen games are, but now I do. Now I support the brother. Do you understand? Because of this. And I just feel that him pushing back even then on the rhetoric that we've all heard, and he certainly heard from his mandem of, you know, preferences, or it's just hair, or this, that, and the other. And him saying the deep things he said about, it's very clear of the brothers who have black women around them. It's very clear. And he was making that kind of distance. He was drawing a line. As a black man, I'm assuming he owns this business, so therefore I classify it as a black business. Please enlighten me if I'm wrong here, family, because I did not. And he made that power move to put that out there. I think that is one of the most beautiful things out of all of this. I don't think I've seen that yet. I think that's one of the first times I've seen that in the UK, for that to happen. And I feel that what is happening now is a baptism of fire. You see it? And when you push anything to its limit that still holds its strength, it's going to start barricading itself, as we all should do as a community. But to be honest with you, I do believe that this is what we call when we say that we want this to happen. This is what it looks like.
Right. Yeah, I actually had his video, but I couldn't download it. I got one where he was talking about something else. But yeah, he's it is, yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, so as far as I'm aware, he owns the event, the brand, and he's the one who hires the talent. And I think it's like a battle, a comedy battle kind of thing. Could be wrong. I haven't seen it. Or maybe I've seen some clips. And I don't know if it's connected. And there's one video of him.
Yeah.
I think upsetting. I have this here. Let me see. Hold on. Is this it? This is him?
No, not no prison shit.
No,
I'm gonna be white.
but this is him maybe as a performer. I don't. This might be him doing stand up. I don't know if this is the event. Probably not.
I think there's like 4 white people in
You
there.
know I can't deal with the black things. They're too big for me, bro.
What?
I think this is a video that surfaced of some European guy making some joke towards black women while he was on stage and black women react. I think that's what this is.
Whoa! He's gonna get a big boo now. You gonna get that big boo now? You gonna get that?
I guess showing him laughing might be the issue. I don't know.
That big boo.
I think you're absolutely beautiful.
Who's on there? Cause the screen is so small. Is that Ginger or is that the
Basically, there's
mask guy?
some black brother who's the host. I guess the other host was just Ginger J, and I guess a big European maybe comedian. I think he made a joke about he can't be with black women because they're too big for him or something like this. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, this allowing Europeans to make jokes with black women. So I think that's why this is up there showing that, because obviously everyone's
That
like
he's probably made contradictions in the past that he's allowed it before.
Yeah.
He basically.
Well, this Ginger J's. I don't know what show this is though.
Yeah, black women don't basically, bro. You gotta be careful when you. Gotta be careful what you say right here. You gotta be careful when you address black women. You know? All right. Listen, black women. He was saying his things are not equipped for you.
He's slacking.
That's what he's saying. That
Too much of the bears, the booze. Booze ain't helping you.
Black women, please don't cut him. Please don't cut him. Because I see a few of you from here, from Yard, from where my mum's from. And my mum used to walk with a razor in her mouth. I know how you Yard women are. You especially. Yeah, you started. We got a real Yardy woman in the house, but she got razors in her gums.
Where is she? Where is she?
Look at her. Look at her.
This one here?
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna disrespect.
All right, yes, I don't know what show that was, but it was him.
Yeah,
Like,
so I heard it. He was he's a struggling comedian as well. Like he's trying to get up the ranks of being a comedian as well. So
yeah.
I don't know. Like this, is what I mean. I'm not like I said. I'm not that surprised. You know how it is here. Like we don't really tend to move in our emotions. Even when I heard and saw what he said, I wasn't really surprised. Anything like that. Like I said, I think my biggest surprise was the fact that he got let go. I think that's it. And then obviously, of course, the reactions of certain people while this is all going on as well is like telling as well. I just think that people talk about they want gatekeeping. Do you see what I'm saying with that though, bro? Like, is this not effectively the gatekeeping that we say we want to hear and see?
Yeah. I mean, what?
Or do you think that the black women are being too harsh and they should be forgiving him and he shouldn't have lost his job?
I've had a few discussions online and live this week and last week, and that was, I noticed that a lot of black men, because of him and the state he's in, apparently, and the mental health stuff, whatever, they now paint him as the victim, and they're asking me personally, like, what someone like me, what would I do for someone like him? And I remember saying to one, I said, well, before any healing starts, we can do how the Jewish people do it, and that is they go on an apology tour, don't they? When black people mistreat Jewish people, before they before you, there's they try to make you understand that what you did is problematic. And unfortunately, the rhetoric that he's saying, it doesn't seem like he understands. Like, he's doubled down and says, look, I believe what I said. I just said it when I was angry. And it's a lot to unpack. But what I was saying is he has to go on like an understanding, a learning apology tour, and then from that we can then focus on helping him. Well, if not, it's almost like we're not focused on the true victims of this issue, which he was the creator of. You know, he created
Exactly.
the issue. So we
I
can't.
think there's
Yeah, but the issue is black men are seeing now, not all, of course, but the ones I was talking, cuddling the person who's the victim maker, whatever it was, right? So, and and there was another guy I was going to debate him, London TV, I think it was. Yeah, he's very controversial. Well, very polarizing individual. But he, because he came on the show once and he left without just left, but he he had an issue with Swiss because Swiss put a video up of him loving black women, and
I saw that one.
Yeah, and he said that was kicking him when he was down or something. I was like, that's a very interesting way.
But this is what I'm saying. They say this the cat. It's separating the cats and the pigeons, right? So Swiss's reaction on that is to big up his women and glorify his women.
Yes.
This guy's reaction is to complain about that.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? And this is what I mean in what you said just before then. You said that the Jewish people make you go around in apology tour because they gatekeep. But to suggest that to us is just the worst thing. And then, like you said, the expectation to forgive when a man's not even done his healing yet is to say to the victim to forgive before the person's even done any form of repair, pay back his dues, anything. It's not even been any time since he did that. But the expectation of black women from their own men to get over it so quickly is telling. Screams volumes. So I feel that this is what I mean. I feel that there's a lot of telltale signs to when we talk about standing firm, we stand firm on something. It shouldn't be a divisive thing either.
No.
Like, we should all be standing firm on that. And the only people who don't agree on it should be the people that need their head tested. They're the problematic people. But the way that it's been split and divided is because when it comes to black women, there's only so much hurt that you can have. And there's only a certain way that you're able or allowed to display it before it gets criticized.
Yeah, and I was talking this to I've mentioned a few times, but it's actually two things have to happen. One, black men who are educated, or black veterans and this kind of stuff, have to be seen educating the universal black man. You know, there has to be a discussion, because you can, like I said, when you see someone like Swiss, he's very educated in the history of pro-blackness and understanding. You know, but obviously the brothers who are triggered by that, clearly not. And even though, I mean, a lot of these brothers, they're more into like conspiracy and no skin folk kind of ideology, whatever. So, but really, us talking to them publicly, just as a demonstration of how to tackle unknown immigrants, whatever, right, is key. It is key. I'm just looking to see if I can find some. So I wanted to get the video, but I couldn't download it. Maybe if I try again at some point. But I wanted to get one of, I think it was, let me see. Right. Let's see if I can download it again while we talk. But yeah. But then once again, I mentioned the comment as well. Like, if you're a black man who owns a business, right? You know, and your business, especially, is a media-based kind of business, then you're definitely gonna understand how bad PR works anyway, right? You're gonna go like, this is problematic. Yeah, I can't be seen supporting anti-hate of any kind of real kind in my business. But if you've never owned anything or whatever, you don't know. Especially if people who you know, their whole thing is clickbait and rage bait, stuff like that. Not knowing that can only take you so far, of just using horrid kind of words and stuff. I guess even looking at that the guy who was shot in America, like, he was a part of that kind of like understanding how the social media works. By the more shocking things you say, the more you're going to get the algorithms and more visuals. But at some point, things go too far. I think that's something that people need to remember. And That's why a code and a balance is important.
I do think though that he would, even though it was like a fit of rage, because it's like two things that I think I put it in the category of what happened when he did that. Either he totally lost his senses, and like what has been said, that was his default, so that's telling, or he
Yeah.
did it for clout, which is even worse.
Yeah.
Because even if he was having this argument with another race, with a woman, he would never have crossed that line. No matter how angry he is, there's something in him that knows not to do that, because as Malcolm X has said, black women are the most disrespected women. And I feel that, again, the fact that even if this guy is doing it for pandering reasons or not, but I'm not going to be the one to say that he's doing something for pandering reasons when he's actually doing the right thing. I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon. Like, either or, I'm just talking about the action that he did as a business owner, knowing that the association, because it's true. If I saw, I don't know this guy, like I said, I didn't know his business or anything else. But if I saw his things come out and that guy's on it, it's dead. I'm not going on that. I'm not supporting it. So, and I know a lot of black women would have that mindset because they've displayed it over and over again. And I think that leads on to, again, another positive that I see in it is that black women's capital is high. People are understanding now, because black women have decided to gatekeep in a way that they don't really care if it's palatable to some man or not. It's actually working. It's helping them to protect themselves, clearly. So even though you would like it in a certain way, which someone would say it's kind of cheeky where you're not even helping towards the progress or the protection at this moment collectively, to even think that you have an opinion, they have decided to collectively do it this way, and it seems to be working because people are understanding now, where it counts, quote unquote, mainstream, that disrespecting black women or having them as the butt of the joke, even what you showed there, the last thing that you showed, it sounds so dated. It sounds so corny. It just sounds like, oh, to get a laugh, all I have to do is come and stand up in front of a group of anyone who could be there. And then the butt of the joke is the black woman. That them times are dying. They're dead. And I feel like that is showing the currency of them. But they've had to do it by themselves, unfortunately. And that would be good if we can do that collectively and race together. But what I'm not going to do is start bashing that down.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, what we also see in the comment, which is not the right timing, was what he did was wrong, but he did mention one important thing or whatever, right? So that's why just for like case study reasons, I really would like to see collectively the universal black man, the universal black woman. What are the two things that you think are issues with the opposite sex in our community, or challenges that you want to fix or help with, whatever it is, right? Because it'll be so interesting to see where the mindset of both the communities are, where it's like one is really focused on these areas while the other is focused on these other areas.
Do you
Big
know
up
what would
everyone in the
make it
comments.
even more exciting, bro?
Yeah.
If you put today's date and then write down your predictions for both. And when you tally it up, you can see if you're accurate.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna
to show how predictable it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'm gonna do that. I have something you reveal it. Here's what I predicted, right? Here's what I predict. Big up, brothers and sisters in the. Let's read some of the comments. Kushti's son sister unable to join now. However, I'm rendering to when the Sun Man is starting to develop his foundation to provide and lead the family towards betterment for it is not always state. Let's see. Checking some of the comments. No more questions there. But big up everyone. Big up She Reigns, Ed Pagoodish, Kushti, who's live, Brother Qatari. Who else is there? African Goddess, of course. And anyone else who comes in. Also, Golden Black 189. And anyone else who's live in the background, who's listening. And those who listen in
Tap
future
the
time.
like button as well. Support our black brother and a good content creator.
Mm.
I only asked Brother Cal. I hear you, Brother Cal. Now you are doing your bits. I just wanted you to explain a bit more when you said that the Sun Sisters needs to be a bit more patient, have a bit more patience, and be more calmer towards certain issues. Just wanted you to clarify on that a bit more.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, there's always going to be slight different views from a community, and it would be good if we could have a constructive way to untackle that. And I guess the way I'm thinking it is, if we have the stuff that we cherish, and but also recognizing, can we do it in a constructive way? Something that wasn't done in that show or whatever. That's why they can never use oh yeah, even though he was screaming and shouting, but some of the things he said, there is some kind of. So well, yeah, well, let's if you truly believe that, and you truly believe that no one's listening to what you're saying, let's have a discussion over those things and see. Why can't I find this thing? So I'm just trying to get this thing. YouTube. There we go. Download it. So that's what. So anyone, also family. What I want to think of is what two things, if you could just overnight change something about black men, that's black women and black men, the things you would change or help with or want to discuss or whatever. If you could write those down, and then we can approach those. Oh, this might work. Let's see. So, hey.
But I would like to say though, I don't think anyone wants to get up and hear that, or I'll speak for myself.
No.
In everything that I said, I don't want to hear that anything happened to the brother anytime soon, right?
No.
But I think that, I think ideally what I'd like to see is, yes, that there's repercussions of what happened, and he's faced his repercussions. He's lost, I don't know how many different jobs he's got, but he's lost one that we know of publicly. Right. And you are definitely, and that's the thing as well, that's the other thing. As much as people say, oh, the way that black women address things, you don't want to be slewed by a black woman. Again, that's another that's another thing to stop you, make you think twice, because the slewing is endless and there's no tongue like a black woman's tongue. So that again is another thing that's like, yeah, it's another defensive. Like, do you really want to go there? So he's having to deal with that continuously. I mean, every time I'm trying to avoid the thing and it's always coming up. So and it's gone all around the world as well. I've seen Americans talk on it. So yeah, I mean, global, literally, this is the power of black women. Like, and this is not even an over exaggeration. Global world public humiliation.
Yeah.
So I just, go on.
No, I was going to say, I was talking to some of our sisters, and one thing I was saying is, carry on that behavior, but I would say there's certain ways I would like to introduce into the talking pattern, and that is remembering that whenever you're talking to black men, it should never be black women on black men. It should be trying to remind black men that they have to compete with other men, and anything that you want can be achieved naturally, but also when you demonstrate that you are willing to go from focusing on black women to focusing on other men, right? And that's the true power there, because men don't compete with women, they compete with men. And I think that there's comfortability in men talking the way they're talking because they're not actually dealing with other men.
Exactly.
Right? You see, so the power that I would give all the black sisters is just go, look, we're going to do whatever you say, but first, can you talk about how you're going to
exactly
other men?
And that's exactly what black women are saying. I mean, they might not be saying it in the nicest way, but they're literally saying, you have the cheek to talk about hair. Like literally stop. Like, what are we doing as men? Like, that's the priority. And I think that is being said. It's just being said every which way, but it is being said. And I just want to say though, like, the ideal for me is, yes, for someone to like get their retribution and have to feel the pain because it's a disrespect and it shouldn't be tolerated. And no other man will allow it to be tolerated. And if you're in a situation where your own men are doing it, you have to be the one to say it's not going to be tolerated, or you'll be the doormat.
Of course.
Right? So yes, so that has happened now. And then ideally, I'd like to see an authentic journey of him genuinely having to, because he's at the bottom, so it's not even like he wants to. He has to now build, if he wants to remain back into the limelight, into people's graces, like he'll have to go through that and unlock his own trauma. The key word is his own. It'll have to be ownership. It's got nothing, whatever happened, he, we don't want to hear anything to do with the black woman, like as a collective. It'll be interesting to see him, because he's very happy of documenting himself. Like there's all of these images that have gone back through years. He seems to love to be in the limelight and just talking about the most personal stuff, right? So this doesn't seem out of his element to do. Document it and be real with it, and all the rawness, tears and shouting and all, like you've done previously. And then perhaps maybe when it's time to address, go to a podcast or whatever with a black woman that's not going to pander, and where you're going to get some hard hitting questions, and you're not going to get pandered to, and answer those questions, and then hash it out, and then let her explain from the majority of the black woman's perspective the pain, or why it's not acceptable, what we want to see moving forward, what it looks like for the youths to see that, and the docile reaction towards that. Right, that would be something good. And then who knows, maybe one random day on Pen Games you just show up, right? Because now the people them love you again. Like it could be a total 360. Don't, just because women are putting their foot down don't mean we want to see him trodden on the ground. But if no one else is going to do it, what do you expect to happen?
Yeah, the thing is, even with the sisters who were at the show, they were very, they're universal black women. They're not like pro black or anything like that. They're just women who, you know, who are on our podcast scene, whatever. And they were very kind towards him. They never made things personal, right? Even though they were someone might have got agitated, whatever. They never threw black men on the bus. They never did, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think, yeah. In his regards, he has to understand he made it a big issue, and yeah, you know, until he shows he understands what he's doing. I think what black men are doing, some black men, sorry, is what they're doing is they're conflating the two. They're not recognizing the disrespect that he's doing, because they're trying to mask with, well, you know, he made some points, he just came out in a bad way, and that's what we want to deal with, and that's why I actually want to get these two issues from what black men will like collectively black women to do or not do, and vice versa. Because I kind of know the one what's going to be said, and once we can get out of the way, we can tackle that, whatever.
And I also think though the people who are conflating the two are just making the excuse, because I don't think this Ginger J is an anomaly. I think there's other guys like him that think like him clearly.
Of course.
And I think that this is their way to say it. They can't come out. They've tried to come out and say I agree or whatever, and they get slewed. Right. So it's this next way where, like you said, you just bring up these excuses, because like I said, if we start gatekeeping and we do start being disciplined, and that's no longer acceptable for Ginger J, that means that's not acceptable for him either, or you either. And some people who are very comfortable with doing that in their lives, because he's not the only one. That's what I'm saying. We are, as a collective, there is bad in both our women and our men. We're talking about the men, and there's a lot of men with Ginger J's mentality. A lot of men would like to see that reign, and this is what I'm saying. When gatekeeping comes true, or people do what, like what you're saying, what you come up against, when there's people who want standards, you're always going to come against people with pushback, and that's I think that's fundamentally because it's about them as well. And they don't want to have to up the ante. They don't want to have to start moving with respect. It's easy this way. You know, it's easy to have like a bag of kids, or it's easy to just not have any standards. And, you know, that's all easy with no expectation. No one questions you, compared to another community. You know, you couldn't go in another community and go through that and do that with other communities' women. But you can do it with your own. And now you're saying that we can't do it here when I've just been comfortable doing it. Oh no, now I'm going to give you all sorts of reasons, and it's all going to be these heartfelt, pity me, poor me, and all these kind of reasons to why we can't just have some sort of form of a standard. That's how I feel.
I might, you know, I very rarely use the Instagram page, but I might post these two things as a question as well. I might post it as two, do a design and I'll do these two.
I think you can put up polls as well on there, so yeah, it'll be good to do it there.
Well, on Instagram you can do polls, right? Oh, you can, yeah. Yeah, I might. I got to take more interest in that. But yeah, definitely. Who's this? Agree. There you go. Yeah, I'm going to post that as well. Also, I forgot I actually got this. I did actually download the video, so let me pull it up. This is the brother who decided that he ain't going to be able to work with the kind of attitude he has.
Women, people that work, there's pen game girls that upset rap that are black women, and people that I've got staff that are black women, people that work, there's pen game girls that upset rap that are black women, and people that I work with, from Esther to Hema to Mimi to Koi to Gina. So there's so much going on. I shouldn't have to explain why it's important, but if it don't fall into your wheelhouse, it's literally because you don't care. You don't understand.
No, of course not.
Do you understand the reason for the outrage?
I'm not saying what he said wasn't bad at all. Of course, it was bad.
And neither am I. I'm saying you don't really understand the reason for the outrage, because you're saying stuff like, oh, I get it. It's like, oh, you can't have a preference, or don't talk about black women's hair and and it's kind of like trivializing like actually like what happens. I don't know whether you really do understand it or not. So for someone like me watching it, for me being his employer, and someone that's associated, I'm looking at that, and there's totally different things that I'm looking at. It's not a case of just because he's got a preference or because he mentions black women's hair. There's lots of stuff that you need to unpack in that video. There's lots of questions that he made. I left with more questions than answers. Do you know what I'm saying? He said his preference. He said, this is why I don't like black girl. He said, why? Then he said, because you can't put you in your place. You can't think you think you're a man, I can't put you in your place. So then now that makes me start saying, well, so you enjoy putting women in their place. So what's going on? What are you doing in your spare time? Oh, so you only like girl that you can bad up. You don't want these black girls because you can't bad them up. That is crazy to even say out your mouth.
Yes.
So again, I'm looking at that, I'm saying that's mad to me. Yeah. One second, let me keep going. 1 second, wait.
I had an opportunity to talk.
Yeah, so I'm saying this is wild. Again, it comes to protecting women. It's not about black women, it's any woman. Yep. You know what I'm trying to say? Because you're more only comfortable where you can bad them up. This is dangerous territory we're going here. Again, I don't want to be associated with that. You know what I'm trying to say? Fine. Then the woman triggered you, the girl triggered you, and then you lent into it, yeah? So at the point when you was angry, where you stood up, you're showing aggression, and you're a man at the end of the day, and you attacked this woman personally. You would, all that vim that you had, you put it to her, and it wasn't the whole group, and you wasn't just generalizing, you was on this gal, and when you're telling her with all that aggression to take off your wig and take off your lashes and be diminishing and degrading to her and all that, you're saying all these stuff in a degrading manner. None of that stuff's cool to deal with women like that. Again, forget even black women, but it's women in general. You shouldn't even be dealing with women like that. But then you're using her like stuff that are culturally part of what we do in her blackness to offend her. Telling her, take her lashes off, take your wig off, take your makeup off, and I'm going to bring in my natural 10 out of 10 Indian gal hair. All this stuff is crazy, bro. Like, it's crazy to watch. I don't want to be associated with that. You know what I'm trying to say? So you man asking what the big deal is, it's because you don't care, because you don't feel that way. Again, or you're not having conversations. You don't have a presence of black women in your life to be having the right conversation with people. Because anywhere I go is what I'm going to be doing. I've got a duty of care to support black women, from my mum, my sister, my cousins, my aunties. I've got staff that are black women, people that work. There's pen game girls that upset rap that are black women, and people that are.
There you go. There's a brother there trying to explain to the gentlemen about what's going on. Let's remove that. Hold on. Remove. There you go. So yeah, so family, if you like, so we're gonna start this discussion at some point. I might post these next post it. I very rarely post on Instagram, but yeah, what 2 issues will black men like black women to fix, and what 2 issues very important, because this will understand the mindset of what's going on. Maybe we can have a constructive conversation about solutions. I think the sister, Empress connection went. She's gone, but we want to big her up for coming in. We have hit the last. This is the it shows over. So let's big up brother Qatari, sister She Reigns, brother Kel, sister Kushti was here, Azinger, sister She Reigns. We said that already. Who else? We African Goddess. Who else? We're gonna bring out Qatari, like we said, Golden Black 189, and Simon Harrison, Only One Salsa, and Cold Barber. Big up all the family and anyone who's in the background and stuff. Take a screen grab of this or write this down. I might post it, maybe email or put it in the comment. Maybe put it in the comments. That might be a thing. I don't know. It'd be good to see what are the 2 things that black men will like women to fix, and what are the two issues. So just to be more clear, what I'm saying is there is something that you see collectively, maybe from a universal black person standpoint, you're seeing our women do or not do or wish we did more, and vice versa, women, you're seeing the black men do what they're not doing or should do more. And let's see what that is. That could be important. Regardless of how silly it is, trying to be respectful, but generally it's something that we want a constructive thing, just so we can have a conversation, because I don't want people think they're silence, but also, even though something might be trivial to someone or with someone else, or we might be able to unpack the history of what someone wants and why they want it, and where it went wrong in the history or timeline of life, blah blah blah. So yeah, please do that. So big up everyone there. So for those who practice Black Betterment, know you're important, and for those who don't, know you are loved. Don't forget to cast your vote. I'm gonna do a design for this and post it, and we'll find out. But Black Betterment to all Black Betterment, and check you guys next week. Oh yeah, have a good one. You've been fantastic. Big up Christian as well for the live speaking.